Hi everyone, I'm Kylene Terhune, aka the Tiny Fit Diva. And a couple days ago, actually I think it was about a week ago, I had a video that shared a little bit about my FDN journey that I was starting on, why I'm becoming an FDN, and my struggle with my hormones the past few years. So I told you I would give you some updates along the way, and if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I will be doing more regular vlogs, but I'm also doing a couple of these longer videos for the bigger topics. And the first one is, of course, testing. So as an FDN trainee myself, one of the first things they have you do is become your own client. So you run the testing on yourself, and then I go through the results with my mentor. I then also go through several other tests of mock clients so that I can practice, and that just allows me to get very, very familiar with what the tests do, what the test results say, how I would create a protocol, what it's like to go through the protocol, etc., etc. So I wanted to take you through my process so that if you're interested in doing this with me along down the road, that you kind of have an idea of what the process is like. And do you hear Coco's little feet? I swear, without fail, every time I start a video, she clicks. She's just like she wants to say hi. So today, I just wanted to tell you what the first two tests I got were and a little basic foundation of what the results were. So anyone that goes through the FDN process, and again, FDN stands for Functional Diagnostic Nutrition, and that just means that we would run lab tests that allow us to see health healing opportunities. So for example, the first two tests that you would take as a client and that I took as an FDN trainee is the BioHealth 205 and the BioHealth 101. The 205 measures my hormones, and the 101 measure a few other markers that I'll talk about in just a minute. But the 205 provides a ton of information. And I'm just gonna show you this little chart here. Can you see that? Okay, so the very first thing on a BioHealth 205 test, by the way, these are urine and saliva tests. So the 205 is a saliva test, so you're spitting in jars at specific times during the day. And the reason you do that is because you're measuring your cortisol levels. Now, you might be familiar with cortisol as your stress hormone. So your brain and your adrenals release cortisol when you are under stress, and normally that stress goes away, and when it doesn't, when you're under long periods of stress and it doesn't go away, then you go into things like hormone imbalance and adrenal fatigue and struggle with some of the issues that I've had. But anyway, so one of the first things we measure is your cortisol levels, and happily, my cortisol level follows the right pattern throughout the day. It's supposed to be highest in the morning and then basically kind of trail down during the day, because it also has to do a lot with your energy. So your cortisol starts high in the morning and then it tracks off during the day, and right, you should be most awake during the morning and then trail off during the day. Hi, honey.
Hi.
I'm doing a live video. Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
So then on the second page of the 205, it measures your sex hormones, so your estrogen, your progesterone, and your testosterone, as well as your melatonin. So this gives you a really good overall picture of where your body is at. But the cortisol levels are checked morning, noon, afternoon, and nighttime. And so that allows you to see, are there any abnormal spikes, or is it above or below the normal range? What is your optimal range? And so if you're feeling very fatigued and your test comes back like mine did, and you're below the normal levels in every measurement, then you have a test correlation and you can kind of move on from there. So the next page, like I said, talks about your sex hormones, so specifically your estrogen, your testosterone, your progesterone levels, and these obviously have so many functions in your body, not just about feeling well, but about functioning properly as well. And all of mine, just to kind of give you an idea of where I'm at, were below the optimum level. It also measures your melatonin level, and the melatonin is kind of interesting because it's largely produced in your gut. So if you're not producing enough melatonin at night, that could kind of point to some gut issues, which I already kind of knew I had. So that was kind of an interesting learning point for me as well. The second test that you would receive as an FDN client is the BioHealth 101. And this measures some really interesting things like your urinary bile acids, your urinary lipid peroxides, and your urinary indican. So obviously this is a urine test. The first one was a saliva test, the second was a urine test. So this measures things like how well are your cells healing from stress? So do they need more antioxidant support, for example, or are you doing okay? How well is your liver functioning? Is your liver detoxing your body the way that it needs to, or is it struggling a little bit? And then it also measures how well you are or are not digesting protein. And what I thought was kind of a fun part of this test was the night before I had to eat 6 ounces of protein, and then that kind of helps us see if your body's doing its job, if it's absorbing the nutrients properly, if it's digesting it properly, etc. So those are the first 2 tests that you would take as an FDN client. Those are the first 2 I took, and they just give you a very broad scope of kind of where your body's at and what you can do in several areas to start healing. But it also gives you some opportunities to kind of see, okay, if you're not digesting well or your liver is not detoxing well, maybe we should run some other tests to see if there's any bacteria in your gut, or do you have SIBO, do you have candida, things like that. One of the tests that they asked me to run was a food sensitivity test, so that will be coming soon. I'm also going to be running a stool test. Ooh, fun. That came in the mail the other day, and I was reading the instructions, and it was kind of gross. I will just say it was kind of gross. So I will be keeping you posted, but so I have, I think, 3 tests the other one was my metabolic type. So that is a test that you take to see, are you a fast oxidizer or are you a slow oxidizer? Basically, that just means how your body breaks down food. So some people do really well, for example, on vegetarian diets, and other people do really well on high protein diets. And that's not right or wrong. That's just how your body works. So me, for example, I do well on high protein. So along with that test comes me checking my food every day, making sure I'm writing it down so that I can then follow up with, how did I feel 2 hours later? Did it give me energy? Did it make me sleepy? Did it help me feel good that day? Did I feel bad? And then I can make adjustments based on that. So this has all kind of really been helpful so far. I'm in my first week of kind of doing all this. I haven't taken all the tests yet. I took the first 2 that I talked about, so I know where my hormones are. I know where my cortisol levels are. And I have some of the supplements to assist me, and I just got my hormones in the mail today, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to start those tomorrow. But yeah, so the next couple weeks I'm going to be taking some more tests, making some more observations, and then actually diving into the protocol day-to-day with the supplements and the hormones and the full life approach of trying to get good sleep, less stress, that sort of thing. So I hope that answers some of your questions about what FDN is. And if you have any questions about it, please post below. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will post that below as well. And that way you can get the updates whenever I post my vlogs or my videos about my hormone journey. So bye.